What's up, y'all? It's your girl Sang, and today we're gonna be reacting to a video from Jubilee titled Black Liberals vs. Black Conservatives. This is kind of old, but as a black conservative myself, this is kind of up my alley, so let's jump into it and see what they're talking about.
Obama was a representation of something important.
Obama didn't do anything but an abomination to us, to this whole nation.
Yo,
So there's 5 instead of 6.
What's the biggest misconception black liberals have about you?
That we are self-hating, we hate our mom, we hate our dad, we don't know history.
We're out of touch,
Facts.
is that we don't have any real world experiences.
We don't really know what we're doing.
You know what? I remember this lady. I probably saw this before. Never watched it with you guys, but I think maybe I saw this before. This is like 2 or 3 years old.
What is a misconception black conservative people have about you?
probably that I have no moral character.
I believe in chaos and anarchy.
And you don't?
No, I believe in the rule of law. I literally cannot comprehend the notion of anyone being American and black and having conservative views.
When you're online behind the
What?
screen, behind the black mirror, you can say pretty much whatever you want, do whatever you want, but when you're right here, you gotta be a little bit more human.
Okay, yeah, so it's 3
My
years
name
old
is
now.
Kevin Martin. I'm a business consultant. I was born and raised in Pennsylvania, born into and raised in a conservative household, and I'm still a conservative.
My name is Xavier. I'm born and raised Los Angeles. I'm liberal.
Hi, I'm Elisa. I'm definitely as far left as one can walk.
I'm Anthony Logan. I'm from Virginia originally. Grew up in a socially conservative household, but very politically liberal. I'm conservative now, and I'm looking forward to hearing all you guys' point of view.
My name is Lady Kate Barelle. I am a conservative Republican.
All right, can I get my black liberals on the left and my black conservatives on the right?
Say that again.
Liberals on the left, conservatives to the right.
Okay.
If you agree with the prompt, you'll walk forward. If not, you'll stay back.
I wonder why there's only 2 people. Somebody must have didn't show up or something. Or this was probably at the beginning of like the pandemic, so somebody probably got sick or they chose not to show up out of safety.
People
maybe.
need
I
to
don't know.
get over slavery.
Yes. I wholeheartedly agree with that. We know it happened. Like it's
All right,
it's
so I guess I
over and
started
done
off.
with.
I mean, we all know that slavery was a terrible thing.
Yes.
It was an atrocity.
Right.
It was a human tragedy. But
Yes.
we can't just be talking about slavery every day. It ended in 1865. This is 2020. We got to press forward. Our ancestors, they went through a lot. They died for us to be able to be here right now.
Yes.
And the best country on planet Earth.
Yes.
Take advantage of what we have right now,
Right.
rather than looking in the past and saying, oh, well, woe was me because of slavery.
Right.
You know, there have been other groups of people in slavery all throughout the world. They can't just stay in that state. So people, a lot of times, they stay right in that place, and others are being able to pass them because mentally they've moved on while others have not.
They constantly use
Facts, I agree
slavery
with that.
to put them in a victim mentality. We can't accomplish this because you enslaved my ancestors. Slaves were taught English. Slaves were taught how to become managers and secretaries and cooks and chauffeurs and how to build water tanks and all sorts of things.
Look, I wouldn't go this far with this lady saying, because she making it sound like we were like on the job training when we were here. No, it was slavery happened. It was horrible and it was bad. My issue is that when you still hear people on the left keep bringing that up today, it's over. Like the guy said, we need to start pressing forward and moving on from that, because everybody ain't been a slave. Everybody ain't been a slave. When you look at every person that has came here to America at some point, immigrated, slaves and whatnot, because it wasn't just us, right? Their communities work as a unit. I know in the black community, they want to be like, oh, white people get paid so much more than us and blah, blah. But if you really look at the numbers, white people don't make that much more money, statistically speaking, than black people. You want to know who's really ahead of the curve? all the other races, they're surpassing both of us. So like, stop focusing on this little tidbit right here, because you can't get out of the slavery mindset, and start seeing what the other communities are doing. I actually said that in another one of my videos. Like, if you want to see what their communities are doing, how they're building and growing and keeping the money within themselves before that dollar even leaves, that's what we need to be doing.
We're here now.
Yo, okay. All right. I really think, honestly, colonialism didn't teach us anything because we came from a society that was living and running. So I don't think we need to get over slavery. I think we need to talk about the repercussions of it, like generational trauma, like the system that exists because of it. I don't think we should use it as a crutch
There you go.
as for ambivalence, or yeah, to hold yourself back, you know what I mean? I think it is a mindset as well.
I think one of the most dangerous aspects of generational advancement is misinformation. I think a lot of young people, especially young men, especially young African American men and women, often have questions about why things are the way they are. Why do I get treated this way? Why has my mother gone through this? Or why has my grandmother gone through this? Well, it all comes down to the repercussions of slavery. And so I think that just getting over something, I think is just absolutely ridiculous. And so when I hear people say that, especially my fellow African American people and friends, I think it's ridiculous. Just getting over something as serious as that, I think just plays into the whole idea of it just didn't matter anyway.
So how long do we continue to harp on it? How long do we continue? Forever?
Well,
Do we never get over?
I thought you mean educate. Educate us.
Education is fine. That's to know history is one thing. To not get over a thing is
Use it
something
as a
else.
crutch.
You can't minimize
You can't get
slavery.
credit.
Who says that though?
But I listened to both of you, and I even thought maybe I'll stay out of this one.
No.
But the notion of ending the discussions on slavery, they haven't begun. We just got the lynching memorial in Alabama. We just got the African American Smithsonian in DC. You cannot go to Germany and walk more than a mile without seeing some sort of tribute to the Holocaust, some sort of apology, some sort of marker. The United States does not acknowledge slavery in that way. We are beginning to discuss, but we can't get over it until white folks acknowledge it.
Being black.
Now remember, this was 2 years ago. So where are we at with white folks now? Because we talked about this last night on my stream, watching one of my videos. Where are we at with white folks now? Cis white men are the most hated in America right now. And then you have a bunch of white people that just have white guilt at this moment for something they did not do, which is insane. Like, and it's crazy, the video we watched, it was about, do you think white privilege still exists? And they talked to everybody. They talked to white people on a college campus, and they talked to minorities on a college campus. And they were like, yeah, because white cis men are so much more privileged than us, and we're oppressed and blah, blah, blah. So the lady was like, okay, well, what privileges do they have that you don't have? Nobody could answer that question. Nobody, including the white guys. Nobody can answer that question. So, like, that's where we are right now with white people.
Should not influence a political view.
What did it say? It said being black should not influence a political view. I agree with that. Because what's one thing the Democrats is going to do, you ain't black if you don't vote blue. Like, when Biden say, you ain't black if you don't vote for me, it's like, what are you talking about? I actually saw an interesting chart earlier today. It said if everybody's always going after the black vote, when in reality they need to be going after the white vote, because 88% of black people the last election voted blue, right? They were like, if they can get 88% of the white vote to go red, they showed on the chart that if that were to ever happen, the whole United States would be lit up red. Not one state would be blue. So if I'm the Republicans, I wouldn't even care about the black vote at that point, because you have to remember the white population is bigger. It's like way bigger. Blacks are only like 13-14% of the population. I don't even care about 88% of their vote, which gives you that mixed bag where it's like close running, blah, blah, blah. I'm going after the white vote. If you want to put race into it, that's where you need to be going if you want to win.
So,
Of course not.
yeah, being black should not really influence how you think politically, because what's good for us as black folks should be the same as everybody else. It should be from the point of view of me being an American and wanting the best for me in America.
I
Yeah.
will vote for the best
Yeah.
person that is running. And so far, it's been, in my situation, it's been Republicans, conservative Republicans.
I vote based on the issues that I care about, and the issues that I care about stem from my personal experiences. As someone that was raised in a conservative household, I have different views on certain things. I have different views on pro-life and pro-choice issues. I have different views on economic issues. I have different views on trade and foreign policy. I don't think that skin color should have anything to do with
No,
a
it
political
shouldn't.
view.
It shouldn't.
I would say I definitely don't vote for candidates just because they're black. Ben Carson
We
could
agree
never
on
get my vote.
Yeah.
However, I do feel very much a part of a group. I feel like I have a shared history with black people and descendants of slaves in this country, and so I do not vote just based on what's okay for me.
I think people should vote for what's in the best interest of them, and I don't think that skin color should dictate on what your interest should be based on skin
Thank
color.
you.
Do you
Thank
ever vote your religious belief
Yes.
on abortion?
Have I ever voted my religious beliefs on abortion?
Yes.
Yeah, I have.
And what's your religious belief on abortion?
We're not even talking about abortion. It's nothing to do with this
No, but
conversation.
it's black.
We have nothing to do with this
But yeah, that has
conversation.
nothing to do with
The majority of abortions are done to the black race.
Well, I
So,
Well, yeah, okay, wait, yeah, you're right. This is random. Wait a minute now. It says being black should not influence a political view. You just are like, oh, do you use religion when you vote? But that's not the question. She kind of went off on her own thing. But to go back to the other chick who said she votes because she feels like she's part of a group, so she votes. If she actually knew her history, she wouldn't vote the way that she does. And I implore all of you, if you are if you identify as African American, right? I'm American. We all one under God. But if you identify as African American, I implore you to watch a documentary right here on YouTube. It's free. It's called Uncle Tom. There's actually 2 parts to it. Just watch the first one. If you like it, which I'm pretty sure you will, then go watch the second one. It'll open your mind to a lot of things that you have, if you've never known these things to be, which most black people don't, because of how we were raised in our community. We were sold a lot of lies coming up. Not your fault if you were born into that, right? Because a lot of us weren't born in conservative households. But I would implore you to go watch that documentary.
want to ask you.
you should
You
be
said you-
interested in answering that question.
Really quick, I want to ask you because you said you wanted to leave slavery behind. You wanted
Yeah.
to get over it, but
I didn't say forget it. Yeah.
You said to get over it. I'm saying
Get over it. Let's not forget it.
You're a
And
Christian?
I still say teach it.
Yeah, you can still
Christian?
teach it,
Yes, I am.
educate. Don't
And
use it to hold you back.
Where do you think we got that?
Got what?
Christianity.
Christianity goes all the way back to the beginning of time.
So where did we learn it though?
Where we learn it? Well, the Egyptians had religions, the Jewish taught
No,
religion.
where
You
did
mean
the
in
African
America?
diaspora?
In America.
Your lineage, yeah.
Um,
I already know where
Okay.
he's about to go. He's gonna be like, "We got that from the white man," which is false. Which is false. Y'all gotta remember, Christianity was been taught in Africa since around 50 or 100 AD or something. Blacks been to it. We didn't learn it fresh off the boat over here coming to America as slaves. Blacks been to it. So
they learned it from slavery.
Through slavery, right.
Slaves also brought
We gotta get
religion
over
with
it, right?
them when they came, so it was a
They both
mixture of
are. They both use their
everybody's
history.
religion.
I'm
But
just on the
they
Bible.
learned how to read. So what they learned how to read was the Holy Bible.
Oh, we knew.
And either you're going to believe the Holy
we knew
Bible
how
or
to
you're
read.
not.
We knew how to read.
I believe you know how to read Arabic, what? Because it wasn't English. That's my saying. And we're in America now. Everybody should speak English.
Whoa.
Is that a hot take? Damn, we gotta speak English in
where did
America.
That's a
I
super hot
support-
take. That's the main language, but like we're a melting pot. Yeah. Even the conservative dudes was like, yo, what? All I'm getting from this is they all need to learn their history, because this is a mess. This is a mess so far.
The Black Lives Matter movement.
No. It's a scam. We know it's a scam now, but this is like 2 years ago, so they're probably like, this was probably right after the George Floyd situation, so they're probably like pumped up. Don't get me wrong, like, at the time, I thought that was like, I was upset over the George Floyd thing, but I still felt Black Lives Matter was off. I was like, there's no way they're giving this money back to the communities. I was right. I called that. I called that at the time. But the only thing I was really a part of was, and I had told this story before, my brother, he has a media company. He needed some help shooting an event. And I don't think it was Black Lives Matter connected, but they were doing like some sort of like Black Lives like Matter bike drive march type thing here in our city. And I helped him photograph it, and they had like this Jeep squad that was there. It was dope. It was a cool thing to be a part of, to like photograph it, because I was hanging off a Jeep with one hand and a camera in the other one. And when I mean hanging off the Jeep, there's no doors on the Jeep, so I'm just like hanging off the side completely with like just a camera in my hand while we're driving. It was awesome. And but I don't think that was actually connected to Black Lives Matter's organization. I think that was just some people wanting to do their own march in our city. But no, I knew like that main organization. I was like, ain't nobody getting that money. They scammers. I called that from back in the day.
Well, I am a public defender for 17 years. I work in the criminal justice system. I see a lot of the behind the scenes when it comes to police brutality. So I'm a strong Black Lives Matter supporter.
Grew up in Compton. My parents were born and raised there. Even as a child, when they had the riots for Rodney King, we had to move to Hampton. Yeah, it was something that, it was the first time I knew that it was wrong, the way the police, how they police the towns. It was the first time I got a sense of injustice.
I'm just interested, since you identify as conservative, I was surprised to see you come.
He's young. He seems like he's more conservative leaning, but he's like on the fence. That's what this kid seems like.
Over and how that lines up with your political views, or maybe just what your definition of conservative is.
Since the movement started, I've been torn for far too long. We've had the police on the right, and we've had Black Lives, the African American community and the Black community on the left, and it's just constant fighting. And so I support the movement. I support the agenda. I support the mission. I just have not always supported the way that mission agenda was being carried out.
I wonder if he supports them now, 2 years into the future. That'd be interesting to get like all these people's views on what they believe now. That's what Jubilee should do. Bring some of these people back like years later to see if they'd be willing to sit down again, to see if their mind changed at all on anything or if they're still the same.
I agree with the fact that Black lives do matter. I think
Yes.
we all agree on that. That's
Yes.
something that nobody's going to deny. But it's the tactics. I
Yes.
don't like the tactics. I mean, I saw it in 2015, the Freddie Gray situation, also with Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri. You burning neighborhoods down, you're
Right.
tearing things apart.
I
have
don't agree with that
people
either,
who
'cause I
will
never
say,
understood that.
Well, the percentage of blacks that are being killed is high. And I said, where'd you get that from? Well, we see it on TV all the time. But the ones who are not shown on television is in a much higher bracket of being shot quicker than a black man would. And that's shown with the FBI statistics.
Black Lives Matter as an organization is about peaceful protest and is about bringing awareness. There's no Black Lives Matter organizer who's ever looted a CVS. There's no Black Lives Matter organizer who has ever advocated for violence. So.
Yeah, but they have kept all that money and bought homes and done nothing for the black community. That's why I said this would be interesting to hear their thoughts on this now, where we are in the future.
So in terms of saying, look, I see somebody black on the TV who is upset about the murder of a young black male, that's not the same as saying Black Lives Matter is therefore responsible. Likewise, I'm not sure which FBI statistics, but African American men are definitely the most killed by police. It's a very specific statistic.
The statistics, you can even bring it up from last year, because I done looked at them already. Out of all the people, it was like 1,000 and some people got killed by the police, something like that. Guess what the majority of that number was? White guys. A small percentage of that was black guys. They like to say we're killed more because we're only like 13-14% of the population. So they're like, we're killed at a 2 times higher rate than white people. Yeah, white people are like a huger population, but if you want to look at the actual number of people that died from being shot by the police yearly, big chunk of that number is white guys. But if like I said in one of my live streams, I'm like, we want to play that game. Pacific Islanders are actually shot at a 4 times higher rate than white people. But it's because of that way, because their population is smaller. It's like way smaller than black people. We play that game too, but the actual numbers is mostly white people get killed by cops.
Police aren't killing white folks like that.
We can't just leave it there and say, well,
Yeah, they are.
we're being killed more, therefore it's a problem with race. Why are we being killed more by the police? Is there a
Because
specific...
we're over-policed.
What does
There's
that-
more police in our communities.
What does that mean?
It means that the ratio, the number of police, at any given time where I live, I am going to see police officers every hour. I'm going to see patrol vehicles in a way that I don't see when I'm in predominantly white neighborhoods. Statistically, and this is actually my line of research, black youth are seen as 4 to 5 years older. We're seen as scary, we're seen as intimidating. So that's why you see situations like Tamir Rice. You see police reacting quickly with lethal force
He had a gun. Looked like it was real though, you know.
But there was no one there. Let's say he had a real gun. Why couldn't the police say stop? He was killed in less than 15 seconds, a 12-year-old boy
But he was pointing the gun
with a
at
BB
people.
gun.
Which was sad. That actually happened in my city. But what needs to happen is you need more police training. You need, because here's where the messed up thing is with being a cop, all right? First of all, a lot of people don't even want to be cops anymore. So you're trying to rush through training even faster now because you have to fill the gap because there's not enough cops. And then a lot of cops are being overworked because there's not enough people on the force anymore. But they're training, you don't get enough time for training, which leads to a lot of these messed up situations that end up happening. That's what, like, you need more training at the end of the day. Because it doesn't make sense that you have more hours into training to get a license to be a barber and a hair tech than it is to be a police officer. That don't make sense. It's like, yeah, you got to put in this time to not mess up this head, but hey, man, congratulations for passing. There's a gun in a badge. It's like, no, training needs to go up. That's why I never understood the whole defund the police movement. It's like, no, you don't defund the police. They need more money. If anything, they need better training programs. They need to figure out how to get actual good people up in there. You need good background checks, good psychological. It's a whole process. It's like a whole.
No, he
It is
was not.
Like when I had a BB gun when I was that age, and it looked real too. And you know, my parents told me, do not go outside with that. And I'm in the all black area. Do not go outside with that and point it at people because it looked real. And why do you think they did? Why do you think they did that?
Hopefully
didn't get
because they
shot.
recognize that as a black boy, you're going to be targeted.
We could do a whole podcast on that one right there. I mean, I wanted to go in.
Barack Obama did good things for black Americans.
Wow, nobody stepped forward. That's shocking. Oh, wait, the conservative guy stepped forward. Oh, and then she stepped forward.
Obama,
No, why did y'all stand there for so long? No, don't follow the hype. Y'all stood there for a good cold minute until one dude walked forward and then 2 other people was like, you know what, I'll step forward too. No. Stand on your values.
didn't do much for black Americans or for Americans in general. But what he did do was one very important thing that I got to give him credit for. And that was to say that you can be black and be the president of the United States. This whole excuse of, well, I can't do anything because I'm black and slavery. I'm not trying to hear it no more. You had the first black president, the black wife, the black kids, all that good stuff for 2 terms. Not once, it wasn't a fluke, 2 terms.
I wonder what the other 2 people had to say about it.
Obama has done more damage to the African American race than any of the other presidents. He came into the presidency lying. He lied to our faces to get elected. Then once in, he disavowed. He just forgot about the blacks, first of all of us. Obama didn't do anything but an abomination to us, to this whole nation.
Bro, it's the president. He can't just focus on, he has to focus on everybody. That's why I don't really be too pressed about the president. He can't really do nothing for us anyways when you want to talk about communities and cities and stuff. You need to be more focused on who your local representatives are, because they're the ones that's going to make change in your town. The president could really only do so much because the president has to think about everybody in the nation. That's what they're supposed to do anyways. They can't just be like, Obama can't just be like, well, now I've not been here, I'm only doing stuff for the black people. That's not how that works.
Nation.
Yo,
I mean, I agree with what you said. You know, he did a lot of damage. And the main thing that I remember from his term was when he had Black Lives Matter in the White House while
Whoa.
Ferguson was happening, while it was happening. Hey, you guys are doing a great job out there.
Whoa.
You guys are doing fantastic. Didn't say, hey, tone down the rhetoric a little bit maybe because you got some problems. Nope, you guys are doing a great job. Keep on going.
So Obama was a representation of something important, but also I think the whole thing is a big puppet show, and you know I wasn't really sure.
Amen, brother.
I'm never really sure what's going on behind the scenes, so we don't know what kind of deals are being made.
I do think that there was people that benefited from some policies that Obama put in place.
Homosexuals.
And I also believe that there were people that did not benefit. And so I think that there are obviously good things about the Obama presidency, and there's things that I disagree with the Obama presidency.
We got to educate you, young brother.
Yeah, he's very on the fence.
Okay, me?
Yes.
Did you go to college?
Yes.
Where'd you go?
Southern University in Pepperdine.
What did you study?
Political science, law enforcement,
What a waste of a degree.
social studies. Social studies is what I teach, and social science, masters.
It shows.
The black
What a waste of a degree. He was just like, yeah, it shows. That's funny. All right, we're going to stop it here. I will see you guys in part 2. So come back at 7 p.m. to go check that out. And till then, you already know who it is. It's Sang.